You could tell two things in this film. You could tell one, that this is a John Woo film, hot off of Face Off. And you can also tell people were like, yo, chill out, dog. Yo.
Agent located.
Wait! Before we get into this film that came out 23 years ago, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button right at the bottom.
Are we old?
Yeah. Mission Impossible 2, directed by John Woo. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I think everyone would expect us to do Mission Impossible Fallout, but like, F that. Like, I want to do the cool one. I want to do the fun one. I want to do the one with John Woo. Hot off one of my favorite movies of all time, Face Off. This is, yes, Face Off.
His face.
This is John Woo in his stride, baby, hitting in his prime. He's like, you know what? Everyone loved the audacity, the craziness, the wildness of Face Off.
I'm ready for the big ride, baby.
You know what would work for Mission Impossible, which is kind of a face-off movie anyway, because they literally do take faces off. And you could tell that Tom Cruise was like, hey, yo, John, please.
God, please, no!
Among all the Mission Impossible films, I think this movie stands out quite a bit because it's the most outlandish, it's the strangest, and it's the least grounded of all the Mission Impossible films.
I mean, it's so absurd that it works. Okay,
It works so good. His style is just so unique.
Like, this film went through like 2 other directors before it landed on John Woo, and some rewrites and stuff. So, and I know that this film was supposed to come out in 1998.
Right.
Okay, but they were like, yeah, I don't want that. The first director who directed the first film, he was like, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to do the second because he didn't like the script. And they eventually landed on John Woo.
These delays changed the course of movie history. So first of all, Dougray Scott, who plays the villain in Mission Impossible 2, he was supposed to be Wolverine in X-Men.
Yes.
And he quit at the last second, of course, paving the way for Hugh Jackman, who 23 years later is still playing that character. Not only that, they had a hard time trying to fill the Mr. Phelps role, but it's not Mr. Phelps anymore, the one that Anthony Hopkins is playing in.
Yes.
So instead of Anthony Hopkins, they originally had Ian McKellen, who later played Magneto in X-Men. He was going to be in this film, but his agents thought he lost his mind. And he said, nah, I don't want to be in this. And they all thought he was insane. They were like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you do this film? But because he chose to pass this film, not only was he Magneto, but he was also in Lord of the Rings, his 2 most marquee films. And he could not have done those films because of those insane delays if he'd done this one. After this film, we all know John Woo, he was really upset and pissed off with how much behind the scenes meddling was going on. He didn't like the way Americans made films. So he decided to F everybody and go back to China. So this movie changed
He hasn't been back
everything.
since, has he?
I think he's made at least two big ones. I think it was called Payback or Paycheck, or I don't know. He made another movie after this.
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck, you're right. He became one of many really talented directors who got chewed up and spit out of the Hollywood machine, which sucks because this movie, Tyrone, was awesome.
What made this film stand out to me is not just John Woo's directing style. It's the score, baby. Limp Bizkit.
Oh, it's crazy. It starts off and it's like, I'm like, flames. Flames.
Tom Cruise still did his own stunts. This man was on the side of a freaking cliff, jumping from one cliff. I remember when the ET the ET Entertainment Tonight thing
I remember
came
that
on,
too.
when they were doing that, and it was like behind the scenes of the new Mission Impossible film where Tom Cruise jumps between legends of. It was like, huh? What? What did he do?
And then, I remember I was a kid. I was like, well, okay, but he really wasn't up there. And if he was up there, there were a bunch of cords. Then you see the real behind the scenes. He had one little thin cord to keep him from plummeting to his death. But other than that, that was Tom. And I was like, this guy's insane. He's gonna die. This guy's insane.
The shot really scared me, so I was sweating and I got panic.
The jump was a long jump. It was about 15 feet.
It was really a weird thing to look at visually because your background is 2,000 feet away.
And I've seen this movie so many times. My heart was still beating when I even knew the scene was coming. My heart was still like, boop, 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 boop.
As soon as he did it.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Cruise is a once in a lifetime type actor. I mean, yes. I can't think of anyone else working today who is willing to give his entire body for the film.
And we also had a helicopter camera, and from the helicopter, I need a real close to Tom. So the helicopter very close to Tom, and the blade, you can see the blade on the helicopter. It's very close to Tom's head.
Why?
It's like Tom Cruise has a death wish. Do you know what it is? It's that Tom Cruise wants to entertain you. Yes. At the end of the day, Tom Cruise wants you at the edge of your seat, and he wants you to smile. And he's willing to risk his life to get that smile from you. And again, like, I don't know of anyone else working today, certainly not at his level, willing to do that.
This film and every single film he did after this film, he has just done all his stunts. So the bad guy in this film, Ambrose, he is a ex-IMF operative who gets a hold of this virus that kills you in 20 hours. After 20 hours, you are done. And he gets a hold of it from the scientist and off an airplane, which is a sick opening. And he's like, I'm gonna sell it to the highest bidder, baby. Okay?
Right. Tom Cruise, he's got to recruit Tandy Newton, right? Who, by the way, God damn.
You know what I'm saying, boy? This is young, first movie Tandy Newton.
I've often talked about how Tom Cruise has no chemistry with other humans. Yo, he had crazy chemistry with Tandy Newton. I'm like, this is working. Like, this actually works.
But the reason why they got Tandy Newton's because Tandy Newton's character is a thief, and she used to be romantically involved with Ambrose's character.
Right. But then Tom Cruise chases her out of the building, and they are having a car chase, and their cars slam into each other and do the most unrealistic spin.
Unrealistic.
And while they're doing it, they're like looking at each other. They're like, ooh. It was so silly. I loved that. I was like, that's not only does that look cool, but it is so silly and so over the top. I bet you when Tom Cruise saw those dailies, he was like, no. This movie moves at a clip that is just insane. When you think back about the film, it's like, okay, I saw a plane hijacking. I saw someone break into a safe. I saw someone dangling from a building. I saw two Audis race down the street, and one fell off a cliff. I saw two Ducatis race down the street. I saw Tom Cruise hold himself up against the wall, Splinter Cell style, and then swing down and kick someone. Like, this movie has so many awesome set pieces, so much action. And again, I think the combination of Tom Cruise and John Woo, two people who are willing to go as far as possible to give you an experience you've never had. I think that's a lot of fun. And again, I can't stress more that John Woo's style here is next level.
He does like this slow motion wind effect, and he turns the camera at the same time, like when they're like all close, and plays that Spanish music.
Yeah. I was like, is this the coolest scene I've ever seen? It's so dope.
They meet up at this racehorse track. Ambrose is blackmailing the guy who had the antidote.
Yeah, so Tom Cruise, he gets into Tandy Newton's ear, and he's like, your mission is to get...
If you choose to accept, I'm sorry.
Right. Is to get the data card for some digital files out of Ambrose's jacket. She's got to pick his pocket and get the files and then bring it to Ethan Hunt. and then put the files back into his pocket, right?
Put it in his inner left jacket pocket.
Confirm left jacket pocket.
Roger that.
I've said this a million times. One of the reasons why I like the high structure is because it doesn't insult the viewer. You know, and I know, and the movie knows this ain't gonna work. Right? No. That is the point of this structure. This is not gonna work. And you're tense trying to figure out where is it gonna fall apart? How will this break down somewhere along the line? And in that scene, it works out perfectly. Right until the end. He's like, get the file out of his left jacket pocket, but she puts it back in his right jacket pocket. And when Dougray Scott realizes that
he was in blockers, he was like,
yeah, he realized that she picked his pocket and put the files back in the other pocket. Now he's ahead. He's like, oh, she working against me.
Take care of the Nikorovich memory card. Where is it? In the envelope in my jacket pocket. My right jacket pocket.
After that moment, I think the whole film ratchets up because Dougray Scott's character is really smart. He's like, I know Ethan Hunt. I know everything he's gonna do. I used to work with Ethan Hunt, and so I know his next thing is he's gonna break into this building. And I know he's not gonna break it on the bottom. He's gonna break into the top.
If you look at Hunt's operational history, and I have, you'll never break into buy side from the bottom where security is heaviest.
And I know he's gonna do some ridiculous gymnastics thing to get down there. And then what's funny is John Woo intercuts this with Ethan Hunt being like, you know what I think we should do? I think we should break into that building. Yeah. I don't think we should go on the bottom. I think we should go on the top.
Go to the top.
And I think I should do some ridiculous gymnastic thing to get in there.
Not going in from the ground. Show me the atrium.
And you're like, oh, he really has Ethan Hunt's number. And so the tension that the villain knows every single step that our main character is going to take, I think it really helps put a lot of like energy behind each scene and a lot of tension.
Because by the end of the film, the big set piece, there was only one more of those vials that Ethan Hunt did not destroy, and Ambrose made her go get it, but she like faked him out and put it in her arm. Okay, and you can't kill me. But he's like, I got 20 hours to save your life and go and get that antidote.
He's running in slow motion.
Sparks flying and everything. But the thing is, he's like, I'm going to save you. So they're down there in that bunker. And it's some of the most outlandish fight scenes. This dude did like a frontward kick in midair on this dude on the lawn. I was like, why?
That's so unnecessary.
It just looks so cool, though.
Yeah. It just looked dope. That's it.
Ethan and the henchmen were fighting, and that's the whole little trickery thing that John Woo did, where he didn't show you who won. Ambrose shot this guy, and because he thought he was Ethan Hunt. But it wasn't Ethan Hunt. It was a mask. I don't even know how fast he got the damn mask on like that.
But see, that's what I like about John Woo, and that's what I like about these films. No one cares how he got the mask on. No one cares where this mask came from. That's not the point. Right? Not the point
is the switcheroo.
Yes, the point is they switched. That's it. Don't worry about the logistics. John Woo's like, you don't care. I don't care. No one cares. Right? You're still gonna be thrilled.
And this is so weird, right? He puts his sunglasses on and gets ready to drive.
Yep.
The bad guy puts his sunglasses on the motorcycle and gets ready to drive. I'm like, why do you have to look so cool?
That is the funniest thing. They're like, we've got to go right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing that. That was so funny.
You know, it ends up to a face-off between them two on the beach, and how that face off between two on the beach. And how they collide. So stupid.
It doesn't make any sense. what are they doing? Tyro, what are they doing? They're like playing chicken. They're like, then they both jump. Were they trying to jump over each other? What did they think was going to happen? They jump, the motorcycles explode beneath them, and they fall, and then they have a fight. And one of the things I like about that fight, silent. It's just
music.
and then slowly the drums get in. It is so great. But then secretly, the best stunt of the film happens in that scene. Blink if you miss it. Dougray Scott's character pulls out a knife while they're fighting on the beach.
Real
knife. And he knocks Ethan Hunt over. And he tries to stab him in the eye, and Ethan Hunt blocks him with a knife, brushing his eyelashes. John Woo was working with Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise was like, yeah, let's just actually have the knife brush my eyelashes. And John Woo was like, no.
Ambrose, he jump up in the air and land on Tom, and his knife almost cut his face, and also pretty close to his eye. But Tom said, hey, how about just right into my eyes? You know, I said, no, Tom, it's very, very dangerous. And we have no time to shoot the special effect because we got to do the real thing.
That's ridiculous, Tom. We're not going to do that. And Tom Cruise was like, yeah, I want a real knife to be millimeters away from my eyeball, please. And so they have to like rig this whole thing so that the knife can't possibly stab him in the eye, and the knife is like attached to a cord, so it can't move forward anymore. They have to measure it out down to the freaking millimeter.
We had a real knife that was really sharp and really pointy. There was no faking that. What we did do was we had a cable attached to the end of the knife, which was hooked to an overhead bar.
But anybody else want to lay there with their eye open and let the thing stop a ½ inch or a ¼ inch from their eye? No way.
So the knife comes up like this, you know, it was real.
And it goes, and it stops right on his eye. It is thrilling. It is incredible. And it cannot be faked. And I think that's why Tom Cruise wanted that. The dude almost got his eye cut out for 5 seconds of entertainment. Incredible.
At the end of that sequence, he does this freaking awesome scissor kick that was like displayed in the trailers everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. And he comes up all slow motion, hair going. Yeah. Dude has him. Ambrose got him. Dead to rights. But Ethan Hunt has the gun right in the sand. He kicks it. How did this happen? He kicks it up.
Is his foot made out of explosives? How does it go straight up like that?
And then he catches it, shoots him dead. It's the most awesome, thrilling ending, man.
I remember watching this movie just at the edge of my seat. I remember seeing this movie in the theater. I remember buying it on VHS because I'm old. And I'm glad to see that it's actually a really thrilling movie. And it's funny that this is the bad Mission Impossible film, because I think this movie's freaking awesome.
It's only bad because of all the stuff that's connected to it that really just happened with John Woo.
Right. And I think it's because it's tonally, it's out of place with the others. It's so wacky and strange, right? So I think people look at this and they're like, this doesn't feel like any of the other films, you know? And I bet after watching Mission Impossible 1, which is the most grounded of all the Mission Impossible films, going to the most wacky, cartoony one, I bet you people were like, this is not the movie I was expecting to see. The first Mission Impossible film, most people criticize it for being complicated and being like confusing, you know, and I think Tom Cruise and company were like, okay, let's dumb it down just a little bit. And they went way in the other direction and turned this into a complete cartoon, right? And I think that's why Tom Cruise was like, you know what? I need to become a producer. I need to have a little more control here so I can thread that needle. We got the craziest and the wackiest director of all time to make this movie, and I think that might have been a bit of an overcorrection for Tom, but not for Devin. Devin loved this film. I like the wackiness.
Not bring it on. Either, because he became a producer on this film, and he became that was the first film that he produced.
It's just so wacky. I love it. I love that everybody stopped to put on sunglasses. I love that random masks just show up out of nowhere. Motorcycles explode in huge fireballs for no reason. Cars get caught in tailspins, and while they're spinning, people fall in love. You know, I love that stuff.
I think you know where I'm gonna land this at. I'm landing this film as an A because one, just nostalgic reasons.
Yeah,
I have to say nostalgia worked for me on this one. But two,
Me too.
because
It got
of
me too.
the dedication that Tom Cruise puts into his films, puts into this film, and the wackiness of John Woo.
Me too. And I've got such a soft spot for John Woo. I love his sense of style, his cartoony but somehow grounded look. I like that he's not shy. He goes all the way out, and him being combined with one of the most out there actors in Tom Cruise. I think it's great. I say, don't listen to the hype when people say this is not the good one. This is fun. It's an odd one. This is not like the other Mission Impossibles. It's an odd one, but it's still a lot of fun.
Now, I don't even know if I have to ask you this, man, but do you recommend this film for people to see if they haven't seen it already?
I do. Because you know me, the nostalgia thing doesn't really do much for me, but it got me here. But not only that, this is a genuinely good film. It's exciting, it's wacky, it's weird, and the stunts are truly heart-stopping.
I recommend this film to the fullest because at this time, Tom Cruise was on his game. Because right after this, he did Minority Report, which is another wacky thing.
Yeah, not lying.
But more importantly, do you recommend this film? I'm pretty sure you have seen it, but find somebody who hasn't, all right? But get in the comments and let us know what you thought about Mission Impossible 2.
You gotta be kidding.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate you guys. Our subscriber count is going up. We be reading the comments that you guys put in there, right? Thank you so much for all the love that you've been expressing to us. You know, like we feel it right here. All right. But if you are new to seeing us, please hit that subscribe button right at the bottom. All right.
Do it.
And if you did like this rating review, please hit that thumbs up. All right. Or you can hit that thumbs down. Whichever you choose, it is your opinion. But just remember one thing, it's mostly wrong. Man, that Limp Bizkit song, boy. Yeah!